Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy, brought to you by one and only Nikki Anderson.
Wow.
Who's got a house for sale in Morro Bay, California? The best views we've ever seen for only $1.25 million. Come on up, visit today. We'll be there today from 1 to 3 o'clock.
Wow.
Nice. Give
Love
Nikki
it.
a call, 805-235-3327. That's 805-235-3327. Sold.
What's the address on the hill? People listen today.
710 Ridgeway.
710 Ridgeway today. Open
Right
house.
off Piney.
Best
Piney
view.
and Ridgeway.
This is an actual quote from Nikki, and she meant this. The best view she's ever seen from one of her houses that she's been worked, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So this is the view, man. A house
it's
with
the
a
view. I wish I could own
You
that
can see
house.
the whole bay and the rock and everything. So you see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen today? Oh, it's tomorrow. You going to be up there tomorrow to open house too?
Maybe.
There's a little regatta boat race with kids, and two of my kids in my first E class are racing sailboats
Oh, really?
in the bay.
Wow.
Yeah, you know how they do it.
What time?
It starts at 11, I think.
Uh-huh.
They get there early, get their boats ready.
Uh-huh.
How many kids you know go sailing? Man,
I love that.
I'm like, you're doing what?
I love
So
that.
they're going to be tomorrow. I was going to try to make it up there, but I don't know if I can get there by 11. But anyways, it's good to see you, and I wish you the best. I'd love to come see your house, though.
Yeah. Come on.
What was the address again? Say it again. Seriously.
710 Ridgeway on the corner of Ridgeway and Piney.
And it's up in Morro Bay. The open house is 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
And so yeah, go check it out, people.
Isn't that near Morro Bay Golf Course?
It is. It is pretty close to Morro Bay.
I was going to say, because I saw the view, and I was like, that's got to be near.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be near the top of the golf course, like near 5 or 6
It's
up in there.
It's actually where Piney comes up, right at the top of Piney before it goes back
Oh,
down.
the 4th hole. Was that 4? Goes down that hill?
No, it's kind of to the east of the golf course, a little bit,
East.
That would be inland.
or northeast, I should say.
Northeast. Yeah,
Yeah,
4th hole.
inland. Little inland.
Yeah.
So do you see Los Osos as well?
Yes, you can see all the way to Montana de Oro.
Wow, it is a great view.
It is. It's a fantastic view.
950 right now off your 9.5.
No, sorry, Billy.
That's $950.
No, I'll go ahead, get a loan for that and pay for that sucker off and sell it. Would you, if I bought it
But
real
I
quick, would you sell
appreciate
it?
Pardon me? What?
Would you sell it again for me? So, we've been talking. Mike and I haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks. It's been very sad, man. I miss you.
I miss you too, man. I miss
So,
both of you guys.
No,
So-
I haven't seen either one of you guys either.
There wasn't much missing, is there? Though she set herself up for that, right?
I did.
Yeah, that was a softball.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, you lobbed one
That's
up in
why
there.
I'm here.
But I miss Hop too a lot. I haven't seen Hop in a long time, so we got to get going over there. I talked to the pro Mike from Sundale.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I talked with him?
Oh.
So I talked with him. Wants us to come. They still own it, the family, but I think it's for sale. So remember I asked you what the name of the family was?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't ask me.
How much do they want for it?
I don't know. I don't know. I did not ask that question. But I asked if the family still owned it, and they said they do. But they're getting up there, and
Yeah.
they want it for sale. And he's been working for them for years, and we had a nice conversation and invited us to, if we go out and visit Hop and do our show out there,
Nice.
to come out and play it again. They're not playing much golf.
Yeah.
Remember we played with the owners? It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So-
Or
So,
I think their last name
yes,
was Orr.
that's correct.
we
The
had a
lady
blast.
never missed a
Yeah,
fairway.
she was. And she does. That's what I said. The lady, very cool, and enjoyed that. They invited us. That's what I wanted to tell you that.
Nice.
Um,
Very cool.
But we talked. What should we do on the show? And both of us have been so busy. Monday's our big charity event down in La Cumbre. Are you going down there?
I am waiting to hear about it from Budge because
Okay.
I was supposed to help with check-in.
Cool. Man.
Yeah.
I'm bringing 3 of our participants down there that day.
Oh, cool.
But since there's so much going on, we haven't spoken. That's what brought it up. So what the topic should be, and we've been texting back at each other. He actually called me last night, but I was in dinner, so I listened to him and didn't jump up to the phone. Sorry about that.
No,
But
I know that that's a very sensitive time, so I try to be
Oh, you were great.
respectful.
But I did text you right back, and we were trying to figure out what topics. And
Yes.
I was just working with some students, and I just watched some people practicing really poorly.
Mm.
Right. And while I was doing programming, I was watching some other people practicing and just kind of keep an eye. And it was kind of sad because they're trying their best. They're not trying to practice poorly. They just were.
They don't know any better.
So made me think practice habits or practice routines.
Right.
What's good ones, what's bad ones, and what's really ugly ones. Because practice doesn't make perfect.
No.
It makes permanent.
Correct.
And so it's interesting what you see. And Mike, you must see it all the time too. And you practice a lot, so you must have your own theories. But it's funny, huh, what you see? So You want to talk about? You want to go down a list of what we think's ugly, and then the bad, and then what's good?
I think that sounds great.
Yes.
All right. Are you prepared for this, Mike? 'Cause I know how busy you are. You probably weren't thinking good, bad, and ugly coming down a hill, man. You were thinking, oh.
No, actually, last night that's what I was thinking. Last night when we were texting back and forth, I was thinking how many different times this week I've actually seen that.
It's
and then there were 3 different
yeah.
students that I had the same. In fact, one of the lessons was with a father-son. And so the father is a very athletic, very successful athlete. And so his expectation
he's instilling that
is
ethic into the kid, or trying
more
to.
into himself, and he thinks that the game will just kind of happen. And so we finally talked about in the lesson. I said, okay, it's obvious that you like to play a lot, and we do a lesson like once a month. And so the combination of once a month lesson and playing is not going to get you any better at where you're at. But he thinks that's the way to practice. So I said, it's fine that you're doing that, but why don't we make the lesson, this practice, the way you practice like you're on the golf course. So it was him and his son. His son's about 12. And they both teed up, and I said, okay, pick a green. They picked a green. I said, that's 200 yards to that green. What club do you want to use? And they said they picked their clubs. And then we talked. We just went through a pre-shot routine. I said, how do you want to line up? How do you want to aim? How do you want to do it? So that, in essence, is their practice now. And so as we went along for the 45-minute to an hour lesson, they played 12 holes.
Nice.
And
So
by the time we got to the end of the 12 holes, they were like, wow, that was really
So what you did was you just
confident.
took an ugly and turned it into a good.
Yeah.
But I want you to, if you can, stick on. Let's just bullet ugly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because you
I
did.
apologize.
You went right up the list, man. You
I'm sorry.
pyramided this thing out perfectly.
I'm so sorry.
I actually have a tear in my eye.
Do you? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, not
dominate
an
and take
upset
away.
tear. This is a success story tear.
I'm sorry.
But I'm gonna bullet an ugly, and then you could. This was.
I love it.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Billy.
I got 4 of them, and I'll start with the top one, whether or not in any particular order. But trying to fix a problem with another problem. So if you ball slices right, they start aiming left, or they
Yeah.
shut the face.
I hate that.
Or they open their
so
feet
it's
a ton.
they're doing a Band-Aid to fix the original problems, and it makes sense because they want result at that
Right.
moment.
Right.
But
Right.
but trying to fix something that's not the problem with another problem,
Right.
and that just leads to what, guys?
More problems.
Problems.
More problems.
Layering of
So
problems.
Yes.
to me, I believe that's
More layers.
really ugly. I think that's the wrong. That's not even bad. That's ugly.
Yeah.
So what do you got for an ugly practice habit?
I think the worst is going to the driving range and thinking that you're going to practice and then just pulling out your driver and hitting it as hard as you can for the whole time and then walking away.
Boy, those all over my list here.
Yeah.
All over my list, and I'll tell you, it's hitting a bucket, over practicing with just driver, a bucket of bad drivers.
Yeah.
You become good at being a bad driver.
Yeah. Mine's the multiple large bucket purchase with either a driver or an iron, and you watch the person, and all they do is pull a bucket from the ball and hit. Pull a ball from the bucket and hit. A ball from the bucket and hit. A ball from the bucket and hit.
No plan.
There's
Nothing specific. No goal.
No, and that's fine if you're
It's
just
just
out you're like,
motion.
hey, I need to get outside.
Maybe they're meditating.
I got to get there's a couple people that I see it do all
But when
the
you
time.
see them slam the club down and say, all right,
That's not
that's not
meditating.
meditating.
No.
No. And then the thing about that is they're just they think that's the equation to getting better. So then they go play and they come in, and I could tell you without even asking them before they go on the first tee, I know exactly what their round's going to be like.
Yeah.
And they come in and
Oh,
they're
so this is before a round.
They're
The
so
multiple
bummed.
large baskets
Yeah.
before a
They're
round.
so bummed.
That should be an ugly. You're hitting 400 balls and then you go play.
Yeah.
You know, you're only hitting 60 shots in a round of golf anyways. Right?
It's
That's all you're doing.
I don't know
A few putts here and there, and that's about it.
I don't know physically how they pull it off, honestly. I mean, it's
This
it's a lot.
This ugly too. Listening to everyone else's advice.
Oh, gosh.
The quick
Giving
How common is
advice.
that?
the quick fix, the giving, you're going to the range with the 3 things your friends have told you, the 2 things you saw on Golf Channel and the Golf Digest you just got in the mails for,
Right.
and you're going to the range and you're going to do something different every single time.
Talk about conflicting.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so I believe that is an ugly. CBAB was doing that. I mean, one thing at a time. Maybe it might be. There might be a quick fix. There might be the fix.
One pro at a time.
But right.
Most-
So you guys agree with that one?
yes.
Yeah, I like what Nikki said. The same thing.
Stick with somebody.
One teacher at a time.
Because less is more.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
It's very confusing to start taking information from multiple sources, especially from Golf Channel and from Golf Digest, and trying to blend that in.
And they're actually an entertainment show. They're going to just say things to sell.
Yeah.
Same with the magazines.
Yeah.
Nothing's been written about the golf swing that hasn't been written about since the 30s.
Hit your drive like Brooks Koepka.
How about hitting shots with never taking an aim or aiming at a target?
Yeah.
They just hit balls and they're really no target in mind. Then they get on the golf course and, oh, my God, they're aiming and they freak out. How do you aim? You know what I mean? They don't aim. You see them hit your guy hitting ball after ball after ball, probably wasn't taking any aim.
Right.
They were sitting up to the ball. They're thinking, arm straight, got to keep my knees down. I got to put my head. He's telling me go slow, go fast. Got to keep rhythm, got to balance. But never take an aim at a target. Weird. Never hit a shot without aiming.
After they hit the shots, they analyze the shot and they go, I hooked it. But they never took time to aim it. So how do you know you really hooked it?
Yeah.
How do you know
it's left
set up that way?
Exactly.
How many
set up
times
for a
have
hook.
you seen someone aligned completely in the wrong direction, and then the ball goes exactly where they're aligned, and they're upset?
And then
that
they
their
think
ball's
it's
over
wrong,
there.
so they make a
think it's wrong.
change.
Exactly.
And then now so it's really picking a target line, man, and sticking with it. And that means less shots because there's more pre-shot thought into it. My last ugly, and this is just my opinion, but I rarely see people work on short game, especially relative to how many shots they hit on full swing. You see them hit bucket after bucket in 2 minutes on the putting green and off they go. And they say, God, I putted terrible today or my short game sucks.
Yeah.
And I rarely, we have short game property around it, and I've never seen hardly anybody on it. The only ones I ever see on it are pretty good players.
Right. That's so true. That is totally true.
So
that's very true.
2/3 of the shots you play are from 60 or 80 yards in. I mean, it's incredible that no one practices that. Is it because it's boring? Not for me, but why?
Yeah, I think it is. I think for a lot of people it is. I don't think they can stay focused that long. Honestly.
Maybe they have to walk and chase the ball 60 yards, too. They don't want to.
I've always found the short game stuff for practicing.
I like that the best.
Me too.
Me too, but I've always found that when you have somebody to practice with and you make games out of it, like to me, that's the best. For me, that's one of the best ways to practice because it also helps me focus, but it also helps me focus under a competition, a competitive environment.
Right.
Now, if you're not going to compete, then that's a whole different animal. But even if you go out with friends, I mean,
even if you do,
But you could go out to the putting green; it's free.
Exactly.
You go to the bar and grab a beer or a glass of wine and bring it out and practice your putting.
Yeah.
But you don't see it.
I know.
It really amazes me.
It's a cheap day.
They'll go spend $8 to hit a bad bucket.
It is.
And
I take Billy on it. That's how Billy and I met.
Well, I bring a basket of stuff, so it's not that cheap. I always stop and get the cheese.
Cookies?
I get cheese and wine. I don't drink wine much anymore, but when he did, I would bring a nice bottle of wine and some cheese, and we used to have a really nice time, Mike.
Right on Avila's putting green there.
And who was that? Who was that person you brought out that played the little acoustic guitar? Sat in that chair, was beautiful.
Servando.
Yeah. How is Servando?
He's good.
That's it. It was really memories I'll always share with you, Mike. It was good. So I got one other in the bed. It's not so much ugly, but working on too many things in one practice session. Instead of, you're going to work on this. And then, so if you have an hour, you structure your time. But if you work on 4 different things in an hour, there's little time to develop. Right. So develop muscle memory or consistency, you have to repeat, right? And how many people come up, I just want to be consistent. What is your goal today?
All the time.
I just want to be consistent.
Yeah,
and why are you hitting 2,500 shots inconsistently?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. You're inconsistent because you don't practice consistently.
I think that a lot of people put together that if I make more swings, I'll become more consistent.
And it's
actually
far from the truth.
Far from the truth.
Yeah.
Because
I think they're searching for that swing. And once they find it, then they can somehow keep it, but that will never happen.
Right. And that's why I think it's okay to work on a swing thought. There's no question, right?
Yeah.
But too many one time. Because you hit it right on the button. Once you find it, now you got to hit save as, if you will, and repeat it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so otherwise it won't be a habit. You're not going to be, you might have, that's why you have, hey, I got a great shot once in a while. Well, you did what you were trying to do, but then you did everything else. And so there's no habit. So the players on tour repeat it so much, it's all they could do it in their sleep, right?
Right.
And that's what you do. Your practice is hopefully you try to build a routine that you can trust when you compete.
Yeah. But even the players on tour, I mean, they hit shots that we would consider, if we hit them, bad shots. They shank it. They're pros, and they
Yeah.
work out all the time, and they still hit bad shots. So don't think that you're going to always hit a great shot.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Accept the average, accept the acceptable shot. That's what too many perfectionists
Right.
don't play golf.
Is it good enough?
Build fences. If I was a perfectionist, I would build fences. That's what I would do, but I'm not. But so yeah, so the bad habits are, and you see it every day. Just to recap, is they're hitting too many bad shots, or a bucket of drivers, or a bucket of bad shots. They're always in the range, rarely on the putting green.
Yeah.
I mean, rarely practice that. Too many complicated swing thoughts on every shot, every swing. So you said it best. You'd like to meditate during your golf swing.
Yeah,
A lot of the tour players do.
yeah.
Actually, their swing's 1.2 seconds on average a second. They're not thinking about anything. They
No.
visualize and target,
Right.
and it just happens.
Right.
And that's good advice for any player at
Yeah.
any level. Just don't think, especially during the swing.
Yeah.
What can you think about during the swing?
Somewhere in that mix of things too, if you are struggling, and I guess you could even say it, if you are playing well, tinkering around with too many different kinds of clubs with too many different kinds of setups
Yeah.
will this is Jim DeLobby,
Yeah.
will poison you.
Yes.
And and I've seen that before too, where someone shows up on the driving range and they're like, it's fine, like you're going to try out some clubs, but if you're going to try out some clubs and you're like, well, this one's not working, I'm going to put this on the side, and then they grab the next one, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, that's not working, I'm going to put that on the side,
Well,
and then they grab that again, the third club, and then they go buy some more balls, and then they come back and they try to go back through the three, and they wonder why none of the three are working. Because by that point, usually most amateurs, all those clubs are usually so different that it's kind of like if you were to do a fitting and the person doing the fitting just said, okay, I'm just going to randomly grab a fitting iron out of here without even looking at what it says on it. And I'm just going to hand it to Billy. Go ahead and make some swings. And you got 50 different irons in that bag of all different setups.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not working, Bill. Let's try this one. And I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to hand it to you.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to hit the
The
lottery
worst
to
thing
make
you could
it
possibly do.
to make it right.
And everybody's blaming the equipment because of marketing, the new drivers, the new
Right.
speed Titleist, and all these things. And not to pick on Titleist, I just saw a new commercial.
No.
And it's just all the stuff this is going to make you a better player. So they're trying all this new equipment, and it's a business, so of course they're going to do that, right?
Right.
But it's not real. That's why I wonder, does a fitting help the golf swing? Remember, I asked you that question. Because and I know it can help your game if you get fitted properly.
Well, and we can ask
No
Dave
question,
that too.
right? But does it help the swing,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
so,
there's two. I think there's two things to that.
Yeah.
But
I think it does in that you have the right equipment for you, and then you can forget about the equipment side and focus on,
it has potential to benefit your swing.
yeah, because you're not switching
Sure.
it up constantly.
I-
The people that always buy new clubs, borrow new clubs, do this, do that.
When's the
they're
last
never
time you bought a
using-
club, by the way? Just curious.
Oh, God.
Has it been a week? 2 weeks?
No, I think the last club I bought was January. Was it January? Yeah.
That's not bad. You must be.
I don't-
You must be jonesing.
I do not change my club. I mean, that's
You
my.
used to buy new clubs all the time, Nikki.
No, I don't. I have not. I've never been someone to buy a lot of clubs. I mean, that's my.
They don't have to be so many clubs to give away.
Because
Remember, you had a whole
because I
room full of
never-
clubs.
Because I never.
Just curious.
Well, the first set was given to me.
Your witness, Your Honor.
But let's take a quick
Yeah.
break.
No more
'cause we're gonna hit
questions,
the
Your
top
Honor.
there. We'll come back. We're going to come back with a little more of that because
I have no more questions for this witness.
I think that's really good. Thank you, Sundale Country Club, for sponsoring Golf Talk Radio with
Go
Mike and
practice.
Billy. Give them a call at 661-831-5224, SundaleCountryClub.com. Stay with us. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy.
Bye, Hop.